Welcome to Benched with the Tovar Brothers. With your hosts, Joey, Gabe, and Angel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Benched.
Oh yeah, I'm going to do it right this time. What's up? This is Benched, and we are the Tovar Brothers. Haven't done that in a couple episodes. My apologies. Imagine you turn on a podcast and you just don't know what it is.
They haven't introduced anything yet.
And yeah.
A lot of energy, though.
What are you listening to? I don't know, this podcast. I'm waiting for this guy to introduce it.
They're just talking.
Hope you had a good weekend. It is Sunday morning. Here, we're recording this a day early. We got some traveling plans in our near future here. And we're recording Sunday morning. So if anything does break over the next 24 hours, we will cover it on Instagram or YouTube in some way. But it will not be on this show. So we might sound like complete idiots here for a second. But just roll with us. And thank you for joining us. Before we get into anything, like and subscribe here on YouTube or Apple, Spotify, podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We have a lot of cool stuff going up, including a little trip we took yesterday.
Yeah.
Our first Benched on location. We went to Oxnard, California to visit the Cowboy fans, America's team, at their training camp.
They are something else.
Jerry Jones sure knows how to throw a party.
Yeah, Jerry Jones had the whole thing
You
going.
can say that again.
He had a national anthem.
Yeah.
He had the he had the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders do like a whole
cheerleaders, national anthem, a giant check for the kids of Oxnard.
Charles Haley trying to speak coherent sentences.
That was awesome.
Charles Haley saying something.
Saying something up there, but people are just loving it.
They love him
because
because
getting juiced up.
yeah, you don't have Charles Haley there because of what he couldn't say. You just have him because who he is.
Yeah.
And mission accomplished. The one thing I didn't care for in that portion was the mayor of Oxnard. I feel like he spoke a little long. No one's there to see you.
Yeah, he kept thanking the Cowboys.
He was giving like specific shout outs to like his nieces and nephews and like. Bro,
I mean,
sit down.
There's like 10,000 people here. No one.
We came here to see CeeDee Lamb.
You got the mic. You got Jerry Jones' attention.
I guess.
I guess. Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I couldn't say I wouldn't handle that differently. I'd be giving shout outs to my dogs.
Yeah.
To my daughters. doing readings.
The point was no one wanted to hear it.
Yeah, people were ready for Jerry Jones to take that stage. They love him. God, they love him.
He got up there and people started. Yeah, that was awesome.
It's cool to see. I felt like behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
Undercover Eagles fan at Cowboys camp. I ran into a couple Eagle fans.
Yeah, they were there.
And I quietly whispered to them, "Fly Eagles, fly." It's almost like Hail Hydra.
Secretly, like Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra. Fly Eagles, fly.
Saw some Bengals fans, some Panthers fans,
Saw some Chiefs fans.
fans.
I saw a Bucks fan.
Yeah,
That's cool. Good time yesterday in Oxnard. Thank you for all of you who, even the ones who found out I was an Eagles fan. They're cool.
Yeah.
I was being respectful.
yeah.
I wasn't talking crap.
Actually, the most heat we got was when Gabe went through with the Packer hat.
Big old G on his forehead.
They started just heckling.
They
that was
booed
in
him.
line.
I did help the crowd boo him.
I did join the crowd because
You didn't help the crowd.
I'm a man of the. I'm a man of the people. I want to be with the people.
Gabe's right. I did start the boo.
That didn't just happen.
Trying
You
to get-
started it.
I let him walk a couple steps in front of me. And I said, "Hey, it's a Packer fan. Boo!"
Screw that dude.
There was a girl there with a Brett Favre jersey too. I wonder if she got it just as much as I did.
Probably.
Pause.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do that, but I knew you would. Great time yesterday at Cowboys camp, and
Yeah.
for the our new friends on Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube, our Cowboys people. Thank you for
Welcome.
joining
You're
us.
welcome.
Good to have you. Tell your friends. Be a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Let's get into the
Dang
news
it.
here. Oh wait,
You really
before-
do that again. Do that. That was awesome.
that was pretty cool, right? Thank you
it
for
again.
being on that, Angel. I don't know what the hell you're looking at.
I was trying to think what you were doing.
I gotta do to get ready. Thank you to our new followers. Hey, be a friend.
Tell a
Tell
friend.
a friend.
Very good.
I gotta work on that. It's the first one.
We do have our first part one of the questions we asked the Cowboy fans up right now on Instagram and YouTube. Go find that. I think it's 23 Dallas Cowboys camp part number 1. We asked them this. This is what we asked them. The first question: would you take a punch from Mike Tyson on the jaw for a playoff win?
For the Broncos, I would for sure.
You might not wake up to see that playoff win.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even think about answering that question until right now. Like, well, would I take that punch
Yeah.
for a playoff win?
Wait, if it was like a wild card, probably not. If it was
It
for
is a
like
tough question.
if it was Super Bowl, like punch me, dude.
So a lot of people did say that. A lot of people would say, Super Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd even change the question. And then when I was talking to like a little old lady or like a kid, I just felt weird saying, "Hey, would you take a punch from Mike Tyson on the jaw?"
Yeah.
It would literally kill them.
That literally
Yeah.
might kill them. Yeah.
So I kind of tried to change the
Sure.
question, like, "Hey, is that your dad? Like, would you let him take a punch?" And the kids always said yes right away.
Mijo, is that your papi?
A couple times I was a little nervous because I was playing that game of I would talk to a lady and I didn't know how old she was, and I'm not good at that.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
really hit it out of the ballpark with that one.
And I would ask them, I know what to ask them. Do you have kids? Do you have grandkids? But if you ask them if they have grandkids and not old enough to have grandkids, you're screwed.
But it all went pretty well, though.
I think it went pretty well. Thank you to you, Cowboy fans. You were very gracious hosts, and looked like you had a good time. The beer was flowing.
That was a nice camp. We can get to try out all the food, but
We tried no food.
no, we
We
immediately.
didn't try anything.
Yeah. Well, we tried the beer.
Yeah, but besides that, it was nice. I got to see Dak. Got to see
Yeah.
Mozzie Smith.
Saw Mozzie Smith.
First round.
Yep.
Defensive
58.
lineman, 58.
Yep.
He's stocky.
Yeah.
He's what he weighed in at 330. He's a fit 330.
You know what the buzz is, though, out of Cowboys camp is Brandon Cooks looking really good, showing a good connection with Dak. That's the buzz right now. Saw a couple videos this morning. We'll see. I saw CD. He looks bigger in person than he does on TV.
Yeah.
For sure.
I saw Bridget and Aubrey and
Okay.
Taylor.
I didn't know.
Let's talk about this. Gabriel waited in the most ridiculous line. How long did you wait?
At least 45 minutes.
To meet 6 cheerleaders?
7.
7 cheerleaders?
Not just cheerleaders. They're Dallas Cowboys.
Sorry, that's true.
Cowboy
There's an
cheerleaders.
important
That's
distinction.
an elite core.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's something real special about those ladies.
Met them. Okay. God. Gabe got
Talent.
an autographed.
A firm 130-ish, I'm guessing. They look in fantastic shape.
We didn't ask you to weigh them.
They are ready for the season.
Honestly, this is getting a little creepy. It's getting a little creepy.
Yeah, man. Put your hands down when you say that stuff too.
They're ready for the season. That's all I'm saying.
They're very kind young ladies.
Yes, they are.
They signed my hat.
They're
They all signed
professionals.
the underbill of my hat.
Yeah.
And Gabe got a signed picture, and they also gave us gave us a little shout out for the video.
Yeah.
Find that on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Really good time. Let's get into the news here. Good time at Cowboys camp next week. Wait, next week?
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, we'll be at
Rams camp.
Rams camp over in Costa Mesa.
Whose house?
No, sorry.
Rams' house.
In Irvine. We'll be in Irvine with Coast. Oh God, I can't
Actually,
talk.
hold on. I think the Chargers are first, actually.
Chargers first,
In
then
Costa
Costa
Mesa.
Mesa.
Yes.
You know that.
And Rams are in Thousand
Rams
Oaks.
are in Irvine.
We are on it right now.
Jesus.
I need to get some coffee real quick.
Okay.
It's
Let me
Sunday
clarify. Let me
morning.
clarify. Let me
It's
clarify
Sunday
this.
morning.
We will be at Chargers camp in Costa Mesa in 2 weeks. The following day, we'll be at Rams camp in Irvine.
I'll
There
take your
you
word
go.
for it.
Yeah, Angel has no idea because he doesn't read the group chat.
Do not disturb.
All right, let's get into the news here. Not
Piece of crap.
not too much news, but we'll get into it. We'll kind of move through kind of quickly. But there's a couple things we do want to talk about. First, the Patriots are hosting running back Zeke Elliott. Isn't it weird to think of Zeke Elliott in another uniform?
Yeah, kind of wanted to see him as a Cowboy forever.
I kind of do too.
He's such a Cowboy.
They also have plans to host Dalvin Cook if he makes it that far. Although Dalvin Cook's in New York today, it looks like he's going to sign
He's
there.
in practice. Oh, he went to practice just to go watch.
I
Yeah.
would go there.
I think he's going to sign there.
I'm not going to boring Belichick.
I'd go to the Jets.
Let's stop right there real quick and have a fantasy conversation for both those guys. If Zeke signs with the Patriots, what are you doing with Ramondre?
Just temper expectations. I
what
think
does that
Ramondre
mean?
is still
So he would be a top what without him?
10,
He would be a top what with him?
20.
Okay. Now same question for Brees Hall. Different situation. Brees Hall coming off that ACL injury already, most likely going to miss some games. I think. I don't buy this week 1 stuff. Maybe, but maybe he's AP. Most people aren't. If they sign Dalvin Cook, what are you doing with him?
Same
Jeez.
thing. He was
I don't
top
know.
12. Now he's top 20, 25.
Yeah.
Just because they bring these guys in, Zeke and Dalvin Cook, for a role.
If what you said is true, that's some major fantasy implications.
This is why you don't
Dropped
draft
so
as
dramatically.
wait to draft as long as you can. This is why.
Yeah. Veteran cornerback Eli Apple, who it seems like everyone hates in the league. Like
Besides, Bengals love him.
the players hate him. Oh, he was on their team.
Yeah.
But, like the players seem to just hate him. He signs a 1-year deal with the Dolphins to replace Ramsey until Ramsey gets back, and then he'll most likely just be riding the bench. But if you remember, Eli Apple and Tyreek Hill have a little bit of a feud. Now they're in the same division. That should be fun.
That's gonna be
Same
fun.
team.
Sorry, same team. They'll see each other in practice very often, so that
gonna
should
be
be
fun,
fun. I'll get through a couple ones here, and then the big one. The Steelers agreed to a deal with Quan Alexander, so add a nice linebacker there. Sony Michel retired.
Like mid training camp, right?
Yeah.
He just texted like, "Hey man, I can't do this."
No. No. Important distinction. He retired, 2 days after training camp.
Yeah.
He went to a couple camps and said, "Nah, I'm done with this.
Dude, screw this.
I'm done with this."
Well, some guys are like that. Some guys like you. I watched a documentary on some NFL films, and like it was like some guys who know, like, okay, I just don't have it no more. Like I'm too old. I can't do this no more physically, or I just don't want to do it.
How old was he?
Former first-round pick, 2018. He played 5 seasons. I think he's 28. He's 28. Short career. Seems like one of the guys that in 3 years you'll be like, oh, yeah,
Sony Michel.
Sony Michel.
He's 28.
He was poised to ruin my life as a Cam Akers owner because McVay loves him some Sony Michel.
Yeah.
Wasn't he drafted over like a bunch of...
He was a first-rounder.
No, but who he was drafted over.
I feel like we're talking about Sony Michel too much.
Yeah, we are.
Okay,
Let's move on.
Sorry.
The Vikings.
Sorry, Sony.
Hey, we gave him a shout out. The
Happy
Vikings and the Vikings and 3-time Pro Bowl pass rusher Daniel Hunter agreed to terms on a new 1-year deal with $20 million, and check this out, $17 million guaranteed.
Yeah, he had requested a trade, right? And then
So much noise about that.
yeah.
17 guaranteed, and he has a no tag clause. I've never even seen that. They cannot tag him. He'll be a free agent next year and get to.
They wanted to keep him one more year. That's
Yeah.
what that was.
So I think if he stays healthy and just has a Daniel Hunter year, he'll get a big payday next year.
Yeah.
And then to the big news. I didn't see this coming. I don't know if you guys did. But Colts star running back Jonathan Taylor has formally requested a trade
What a
after
mess.
meeting with owner Jim Irsay. I will say it was reported that it was after the trade with Jim Irsay. Josina Anderson reported that it was actually he requested to Chris Ballard a couple days before that. So it's not so much about that meeting. It may have been about the comment, but it wasn't about the meeting. The meeting is just kind of where it came public. The Colts owner then responded by texting Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, "We're not trading Jonathan. End of discussion. Not now and not in October."
That's
a mess.
That's a great way to get the season started. Just piss off the best player on your team.
This is like has a holdout vibe to it, or just like if I was Jonathan Taylor, like, well, you know what? I hurt my hamstring. I can't play this week.
Hold in.
Because you're not gonna lose value. People next year, I mean, he's 25.
It's a dangerous game for a running back.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. I don't know if
His like precious years are like right now.
Sony Michel is 5 years. It's over like that for a running back.
Really, it is.
we'll see. This just sucks though.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it. It just sucks. Shane Steichen in town, trying to get off to a good start here. This is the last thing you want. Is your best player, your most recognizable player, the face of the franchise, pissed
Because of your owner's comments.
Rookie quarterback too. Like he needs all the support in the world, and that just very stupid.
Yeah, I'm not a
Very, very
player.
stupid.
I'm not a player, so I wouldn't. I guess I don't know how I would react. I feel like you kind of got to separate the owners and the organization because the owners own it, yeah, all that. But there's not a lot of owners who are truly like that. Have their hands that much in the personnel. I guess Irsay might be one of them, but I don't know. I feel like most of these owners are going to say some crazy things if you stick a mic in front of them. They're just a different breed of people. They're multi-millionaires, billionaires. Not a lot of people in the world like them that they can relate to. They're just going to speak differently. They're going to say things that might be kind of harsh or offensive to the normal person.
They don't really live in like our reality.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. What a freaking mess. If you have Jonathan Taylor on your fantasy team,
I'm so sorry.
if you drafted him already, you just got to ride it out. No one's going to trade for him right now. And if you do want to trade for him, it's going to be low.
Yeah, what do you actually do if you do own him right now? And it's like
Just hold on to
like,
him.
what do you just hold him?
I'd say if you can get someone that you know, if someone's saying, listen, I don't believe this is going to be a thing, he'll be there, I'm willing to pay for him, and you can get someone like a
Nick Chubb.
like a Nick Chubb.
I trade Nick Chubb with John Taylor straight up right now.
Like, okay, I know Nick Chubb maybe doesn't have the ceiling that Jonathan Taylor has, but he'll be a top 5 guy. He'll be there week 1. I'll take Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Maybe do a thing like that. Personally, I'd hold him. I probably wouldn't trade him. But if you
even if you use like a high pick for him, like you wouldn't try to flip that. I mean, your season's already starting to get off to a rough start by having your number.
there's no talk of holdout yet, and there's no we'll see. Maybe he's just pissed. Maybe they can smooth it over. It seems like Irsay is pretty dug in. He's not going to get rid of him. So I think it's a hard thing for a running back just to voluntarily give up a year of their career. We are moving along here with our divisional breakdown and fantasy preview of each of these teams. We're moving, man. Only two left.
Yeah.
Today's show and Wednesday's show, and we're wrapping this up. And it's been a good time. Today we do the AFC South. A lot more happened in this division in the offseason than I remember.
A lot of draft picks in this one. A lot of exciting new young guys in this one.
Yeah, we start with the Titans. They finished 7-10 last year. Henry, he came off the injury, and many thought it's the beginning of the end. It wasn't.
This is why he's the king.
It's why he's the Yeti.
Yeah.
It's why he is the abominable snowman. It's why he is just
the king.
Yeah, he's we haven't seen anyone like him since Adrian Peterson, to be honest.
He's phenomenal.
He's just incredible physically and what he can do and the load he can carry. You didn't say anything. I thought for sure you were going to say something.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's get into their draft.
That's crap, dude.
I can't do it like 8 times a show.
They drafted offensive lineman, I'll say, Peter Skoronski. I'm not sure where he'll play for them. I hope he ends up at a guard. I think he'll be exposed at a tackle, but we'll see.
They need a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, they need a lot. They could stick him almost anywhere. But he's out of Northwestern, drafted 11th overall. And then the big pick, I think, that will get most of the headlines here is Will Levis in the second round. He fell to the 33rd pick in the second round. Poor guy.
I have an image of him in the green room.
He was there from
ESPN,
pick one.
Just sitting there with his girl, just like looking totally like defeated.
His girl went viral.
Yeah, his girl went viral.
Is that true that it was a different girl though? Like, have you seen that?
No, one's his girlfriend, one's like his sister or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I saw that like the first one was like far more attractive, and then like she wasn't there the second day. Like, oh.
All right, so Will Levis gets picked in the second round there.
I'm just
quarterback out of Kentucky, and then in the third round, I don't know a lot about this guy, but in the third round they pick a running back, and I think that's always news when the Titans pick up someone because anytime Henry goes down, and he's been going down more lately, you always scramble to see like who the heck is going to be their running back because it's such a run-heavy offense. They draft Tajay Spears out of Tulane. Running back there. So we'll keep an eye on that as the year goes by and see if he gets any playing time. If Henry stays healthy, probably not.
They also cut a ton of veterans from this team.
Yeah, so let's go to that. They lost Taylor Lewan, who now runs a little podcast there in a bus.
In a
pretty successful.
They lost guard Nate Davis, defensive tackle DeMarcus Walker. They lose Robert Woods. I think he was only there 1 year. 2 years? 1 year?
Yeah, but then I think when he got cut or whatever, he like tweeted like praise God or something. Like, dude, you.
So he was happy to leave.
He wasn't very good.
Not like you did too much yourself.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for. Yeah.
Linebacker Zach Cunningham, center Ben Jones. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Linebacker David Long, tight end Jeff Swaim. I have edge Bud Dupree.
Yep.
And tight end Austin Hooper. You have anyone else I missed?
No, I just kind of see like they're just kind of get rid of some veterans, get a little bit younger.
A lot of trenches there.
Yeah.
Some key trench pieces.
But Vrabel just puts it together, man. That guy's a good coach.
They added Arden Key. I believe he's a pass rusher.
Yep.
My boy from the Eagles, Andre Dillard, former first-round pick. I think that's a great. They paid almost nothing.
He plays right tackle, right?
He was he's played both.
Left tackle.
He was kind of a swing tackle for us.
Yeah.
Former first-round pick though. Mailata just took his job, and so we'll see. That might be a very, very, very good value pick there. Maybe they replace him for Taylor Lewan, and then you could stick Skoronski inside.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of maybe what they're hoping for. They pick up, I believe, former Niners running back Azeez Al-Shahir.
I'll take your word for it.
I think he's from the Niners. I actually think I met him one time. Former corner at a wedding. Former Buccaneers cornerback Sean Murphy Bunting.
Yep.
Comes over, and then of course the big trade. The big signing just a week ago. DeAndre Hopkins comes over.
Yeah.
And that I think is a game changer for the Titans. What do you think?
They needed this. Ever since A.J. Brown left, they didn't have that threat that anyone was scared of. Treylon Burks was nice, but he's obviously not A.J. Brown. They just needed that guy. They just need a guy to keep the defense honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting some highlights, too, at camp. I don't know if you saw that catch.
I did.
I know
see the catch.
you weren't too crazy about the way he fell, but...
Yeah, I don't love DeAndre Hopkins taking that fall with no pads.
No pads.
Just on his bare shoulder.
The PED king. He's fine.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I mean, as a Titans fan, you're excited about that.
Yeah, for sure.
He has been hurt often lately, so you don't. That's why I didn't like it. But whatever. I mean, it was a highlight. Yeah. I think it shows he can still go up and get it.
Yeah.
He's never been a separation guy. He's a I can win you at the
I'll beat
point
you.
at the highest point. I can beat you there.
Very good.
Giant hands, right?
Yeah.
You think of that Hail Mary, right? A couple years ago.
With 3 guys.
Insane
on him.
picture.
Kyler Murray to
Insane picture. Kyler Murray, I think he stood on a lineman's back to see it.
Yeah.
Maybe from down the field. Yeah. So I mean,
the story of the season.
I
is the
think they
quarterbacks.
reloaded.
Yeah.
I think they reloaded sufficiently. I think it's still as good a roster as last year. You get a healthy Henry, and with a full off season.
Yep.
We'll see what they do at quarterback. I have here how long and how far I'll read this again. How long and how far can Henry carry this team without elite quarterback play? So far, it hasn't been very far in the playoffs.
I mean, last year wasn't great quarterback play, and like a team total 15 touchdowns and 11 picks from all 3 quarterbacks who played last year. That's not going to do it.
It was really bad last year.
I mean, they had Malik Willis play 3 games and threw 3 picks in 3 games.
He looks really bad. Maybe don't draft any more quarterbacks from Liberty.
They even gave Joshua Dobbs a season on the line start.
Yeah.
Who looked better than Malik
He
Willis.
did. But still not the guy you want starting.
And then Tannehill, 13 touchdowns, 6 picks.
Yeah, I think
best option at this point. Though.
Yeah, Tannehill's the guy this year. For sure.
I was about to say the same thing. I think that's the guy they're going to go with. They have a loyalty to him. They trust him.
Yeah.
Vrabel trusts him, and I think it's his job to lose. I don't think they're pushing him out. I think the only way he's leaving is if a contractual thing runs out and then it's time to go.
Yeah.
But they did prepare themselves for that with Will Levis. Now, with Will Levis, I don't want to see him the first half of the season. I think he needs some time to cook. I think Tannehill's more than capable of getting this team off to a strong start. We've seen it before. And this team is not a team that will depend on their quarterback and depend on their offense.
I would like to see him redshirt.
Yeah.
Give Tannehill the whole year.
Yeah.
And then next year, cut him and Levis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I think that when he is ready, it's a pretty good spot to drop a rookie quarterback into. They have the weapons, Hopkins and Burks there. And, of course, the big man in the backfield. And then we need to mention, do you have the name of the tight end? Everyone calls him Chig. Do you have his full name?
No, I have Chig Okonkwo. I don't have his full name.
That's closer than I did.
Yeah.
Chig.
He's
He's not my buy or my sell, but I would keep an eye on him fantasy-wise. They've tended to have a decent tight end there. Let's get into the fantasy aspect here. Buys and sells. Gabe, go ahead and start us buy and sell for the Titans.
The buy for me, really, really simple. I mean, rushed for over 1,500 yards last year, 13 touchdowns, broke 56 tackles last year, second to only Josh Jacobs, finished second in carries, third in rushing yards, posted career highs in targets, receptions, and yards per route run. And he did this all with what PFF is saying is the worst offensive line in the league.
That's incredible.
You gotta buy King Henry. He's amazing. He's amazing. I really don't have to say too much more about him.
You read most of my stats, so I'll just go ahead and mention that's my buy too, and for all those reasons. Also, I'll mention this. He finished last year as running back 4, 18 points a game, right? And he's being drafted this year as running back 8. So that's a really good value because that difference many times from running back 8 to 4, those are different zip codes.
Yeah, for sure.
Those top end running backs are hard to get, especially with who knows what happens with Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley. There's some question marks up top there. If you have a chance to get Henry, I think it's a great value.
Yeah.
And choose your buy.
DeAndre Hopkins. Last year was a wideout 9 in fantasy points per game, drawing 29% target share, which was 4th best. I think it's going to be around the same in Tennessee. It's going to be such a what's it called? Like the Chiefs' offense is all just 2 players. I think it's just going to go play action Hopkins or play action to one of the either Burks or Chig. But he's going to have high target volume. Volume is king for him. I think high end wideout 2, low end wideout 1.
Okay.
Just because I don't think Tannehill's going to throw for a lot of touchdowns. That's why. He probably won't have a lot of touchdowns. They'll probably have a lot of catches, but touchdowns might be where he gets hurt a little bit.
We've seen Tannehill support
elite
wide receiver play.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be able to do it as well with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
I think Hopkins is one of those big dogs. When he gets in a room, he's going to get the ball. He's going to get targets.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that buys it. That leads into my sell. Let's get that now. It's Treylon Burks, and that sucks because I like the guy. I think athletically he's very similar to AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I think he won't get the opportunity this year, unless Hopkins goes down. he'll play second fiddle to Hopkins, and that's not a good place to be. We saw that in Arizona. We saw that really everywhere Hopkins has been, except maybe for who's the burner they had with the Texans, Will
Fuller.
Fuller. He had a pretty good year with Hopkins. Other than that, you really haven't seen any elite years. That's the reason for the Marquise Brown hype this year, is that Hopkins no longer is there. Playing second fiddle to Hopkins is not where I want him. I'd sell on Treylon Burks here unless you can get him way late worth the flyer in case Hopkins goes down because he has dealt with injury. Gabe.
Tannehill has to be the sell here. I think I like the praise you guys have for him. He could definitely win games. But just looking at some of these numbers from last year, he averaged 14 points a game, 0 touchdowns in 3. Oh, I'm sorry, had 0 games of 3 or less touchdowns and cracked 300 yards just once in 12 starts. He's not a fantasy guy. I think he could win games. I like the praise we give him, and I agree with the praise. But fantasy-wise, kind of a dud.
He's more real life good than he is fantasy good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think he took a hit fantasy-wise when he stopped running so much.
Yeah.
He doesn't run as much anymore, and obviously came into the league as a receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move on here from the Titans. We'll see there. I'm excited about them. I think it wouldn't surprise me if the Titans won this division and were a top, obviously top 4 seed if they won the division, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I think on quarterback, wasn't it Kirk Cousins it was Patrick Mahomes who was praising the Titans defense. Like, they always play hard. Vrabel has these guys always tuned up.
Yeah.
Great coach.
Yeah.
Always gets them.
You see this with the Steelers, how they've never had a below 500 season. They have, when you have a leader of men, an elite leader of men at your head coach position, you just always have a shot.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I'm going to say a lot of good things about the Texans later, because they have one of those guys as well.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes a long way, and it'll go a long way for the Titans this year. Let's move on to Indy. A couple things happening in Indy recently.
A little bit.
The Colts, they finished last year 4-12 with some of the worst quarterback play I've ever seen. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into the Colts. That should be a good one.
Interesting times.
Yes.
Interesting times.
All right, into the Indianapolis Colts here. Finished 4-12. As we mentioned, terrible quarterback play. Sam Ehlinger, the ghost of Nick Foles. As an Eagles fan, hate to see him like that.
Matty Ice.
And Matt Ryan.
It was a tough team to watch last year.
Matt Ryan was so bad that he finally scared Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay out of the whole retread veteran quarterback thing.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Carson Wentz the year before.
I think the peak of this valley, if that makes sense, was when they gave up the biggest comeback in NFL history to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That was like, okay, this team really sucks.
Just a bad year for the Colts. They not to mention they hired Jeff Saturday as a head coach, which was interesting on so many levels.
Just Irsay, being Irsay, man.
They really went for that leader of men thing, except caveat, you have to know a little bit about coaching. Maybe have done it above the high school level once. Yeah. That was an interesting hire, obviously, but I think that was just to get him through the season without, the whole thing going down. They hire Shane Steichen now.
Yep.
They bring him in.
I actually love this.
And then I'll just get to it. They draft Anthony Richardson. Now that marriage is everything.
Yeah.
Steichen was there for rookie year Herbert and then for a development year of Jalen Hurts, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You need that kind
That's
of guy.
great for him.
Yep.
Great track record with quarterbacks, which is the best way to get a job in the NFL.
Yep.
Be the quarterbacks guy. You'll be a head coach.
Yep.
And they take a swing here at Anthony Richardson at number 4 overall, the insane athlete out of Florida. Literally Cam Newton 2.0. I think he's a smoother athlete than Cam Newton, but I wouldn't argue against it. Cam Newton was a freak too. Love this guy. They also draft in the second round Julius Brents, the cornerback, and then in the third round another receiver. They're bringing Josh Downs out of North Carolina. Fantasy wise, I wouldn't look at him too much. A lot of mouths to feed there, and not sure the quarterback can do that yet. They add Samson Ebukam, the defensive end, Gardner Minshew, maybe to just in case Anthony Richardson isn't ready right away.
Play a couple games.
He'll come in. He'll be fun.
Give you some sweet sound bites.
Yeah, he'll be fun. He'll be
sweet mullet too.
rocking that mullet. Yeah,
Yeah,
those jean booty shorts.
Yeah,
he'll wear those. The midriff probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun. He's a good time.
Yep, for sure.
From the Bills comes Isaiah McKenzie. So he'll come over and another Paris Campbell. Another receiver is just okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, Pittman probably just looks at these guys like, hey, you won't be here long.
You won't be here long, buddy. You know what? Just don't even bother putting your name on the locker.
They lost a handful of guys here. Matt Ryan, mercifully, is gone. Hopefully, you're done.
He'd probably be good in the booth.
He'd be great in the booth.
Yeah.
He'd probably be a good coach. Seems like a smart guy. Done as a player, I think.
Yeah.
It's just so funny how much hype there was about him, and then how just quickly reality came.
Oh, this guy's not very good.
Yeah. They bring in also Edge, Yannick Ngakoue. Feels like he's been everywhere. Sorry. They lost Yannick Ngakoue. They lose Stephon Gilmore. They trade him to the Cowboys. Just didn't want to pay him.
Trying to get younger for
Yes.
a fifth, and then they end up keeping the fifth for a cornerback.
Okay.
So
Nick Foles also gone. Same story with Matt Ryan. He's just go get free beers in Philly.
yeah,
For real.
Yeah, that's all you need to do. Paris Campbell now with the Giants, and veteran safety Rodney McLeod, I believe, was with the Browns.
yeah, Browns.
Yeah, so he's gone as well. So they lose some veterans here. I think a solid draft and an okay free agency period. But this is, like I said earlier, all about the development of Anthony Richardson.
I mean, they had 12 draft picks this year, so they're clearly going for a rebuild. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what they did at quarterback too, because listen, you got to feel for them for a little. They tried at quarterback.
Tried
They
a
did
lot.
the Phillip Rivers thing, the Carson Wentz thing, the Matt Ryan thing.
Yeah.
What's that, in 2 years? they
Yeah,
did all that?
really all still just they're still trying to recover from the Andrew Luck retirement.
That's crazy how far it's come.
Yeah, that really affected this franchise
Yeah.
to the point where they said enough. Let's just go.
Starting over.
Yeah, let's go get the young elite prospect and let's see what he can do.
Yep.
With a quarterback guru.
Yep.
I'd rather fail like that than fail than just bringing these veterans and paying them tons of money. And
As a Broncos fan, we did it for about 6 years, and it's pretty hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, successful with Manning though.
No, but once Manning left, it was Simeon,
Yeah, then you're right
Case
back.
Keenum.
Yeah,
Who's the Brock Osweiler?
That's
my
no.
boy.
No, he wasn't there after.
that was the year before, right?
Oh.
That was before
no.
Manning.
It was a free agent when Manning left. The Texans offered him like the world. He went to
A lot of failed Broncos quarterbacks, eh?
I know. That's why it's tough. It's tough out there.
It's tragic.
Maybe another failed Broncos quarterback.
We'll see. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.
I don't want to put that out there. I'm sorry about that.
It's already out. People joke about it every day. This is not news.
Back to the Colts. Let's see how they develop Anthony Richardson, and that's why I think it's a big news that Jonathan Taylor won't be there, because he can take so much off his shoulders.
Yep.
He could give you 1,200
That's
yards
the first
rushing.
thing that I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Support your rookie quarterback.
that's a bummer because they have like Zach Moss behind him.
Yeah.
And,
And they didn't draft a running back. Actually, they did. 5th round.
Oh, okay.
Evan Hall out of Northwestern. I don't know anything about him besides he's from Northwestern and his name's Evan Hall.
Probably excited.
Oh, he's a white guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, some more of an IQ guy.
Stop.
More,
Stop. He's a
I
very
am
good
special
running
teamer.
back.
I'm not
Yeah.
high
touching
IQ.
that
If
one.
Taysom Hill was right here right now, he'd punch you square in the mouth.
Yeah, probably.
No,
I would let him.
he's honestly what I've seen of him. He seems pretty good. But we'll see. I mean, there's running backs, and it's not uncommon to find a good running back.
Yeah.
After the 3rd round, so
Yeah.
we'll see. If Jonathan Taylor misses some time,
Hopefully not. I want to see him on this team with this quarterback, and I want to see what Steichen can do with this whole.
here's what I don't want. I don't want Anthony Richardson is a freak athlete, and if he wants to, I honestly believe he could run for 1,500 yards. If they want to do that,
But you don't want to put him through that.
I don't want that.
Exactly.
I hope they bring him along. I hope they have Jonathan Taylor to just let him do throws off of play action, maybe roll him out, get him where he's comfortable in space, just being an athlete. And he has a cannon.
Yeah.
He has a cannon. That guy can fling it.
Yeah. I think a good example of that running the quarterback too early was when Cam Newton fell off. He fell off hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want with your quarterback.
RG3?
So yeah, you don't want 6 or 5 years. You want 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want 5 of exciting highlights, but then at the end you're just kind of like, do we get rid of them? Do we cut them? And then
Yeah, and it's a fine line, too, because you do have to let him run. You
Yeah.
can't take away that part
Yeah.
of his game, because I also think that's a mental thing.
and that's why you drafted him, because he can do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think if you take away something that this guy has always been good at
Yeah.
and gets him feeling good and gets him in the groove, I think we saw this with Justin Fields. When they let him run, let him be who Justin Fields was, it changed everything for him. I think it's going to change it for him this year.
Yeah.
I think with Anthony Richardson, You have to let him run. You have to let him do his thing. Maybe teach him how in the NFL you can't take. I don't care how big you are, Cam Newton. You need to protect yourself, as much as possible. But you let him run and just maybe start with the easier, throws and maybe toward the end of the year give a little more. You're not going to win the Super Bowl this year.
No,
it's not your year.
But they have nice pieces set up for the future.
The Super Bowl for them is getting Richardson game time written. If he takes massive jumps forward this year, count it as a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. Let's get into the fantasy aspect here. Can I go first?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson.
That's also mine.
Fantasy wise, let me tell you right now, don't overthink it. He can run with the best of them. He's the best quarterback athletically to ever go through the combine. Like, he broke every record.
Can I just give you some stats on running quarterbacks on why it's going to be a great pick?
Yeah.
Okay, so I won't even tell you who these quarterbacks are. I'll just give you these stats and their fantasy finishes.
Okay.
This guy, quarterback A, threw for 15 touchdowns, 5 picks, and had 708 rushing yards. He finished quarterback 10. This other guy had 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 1,100 rushing yards. Finished quarterback 6.
Crazy.
Which means throw for 15 touchdowns and 1,000 yards, and you're going to be a top 7, top 5 quarterback.
Wild.
Anthony Richardson can probably do that. Get him to 15 touchdowns, and plus he'll have rushing touchdowns and rushing yards. Easy. A value pick. This is as much of a value pick as you could possibly get.
Right.
A rookie quarterback that will not be picked anywhere near the top 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Value.
I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys draft, but I'm always on the lookout for a guy who I can draft and his ceiling is top 5.
This is
that guy.
Yep.
Wow.
Not a lot of guys you're going to be able to draft in I don't have his ADP, but I'm sure after the 8th round, after the 10th round, who can legitimately finish at top 5 in this position. I think Anthony Richardson is a slam dunk, especially in a dynasty league. You need to take him. Do you have it?
His ADP, according to I don't have it yet. Sorry.
Okay.
Is 12.10. So in the 12th round.
Wow. Yeah. So
that's crazy value.
Yeah. Like I said, 12th round, maybe top 5 finish.
Yeah.
I'll give my sale real quick. It's Michael Pittman. Unfortunately for this this quarterback isn't that adept at throwing the ball yet, or at least hasn't done it much. We don't know. Hasn't done it much. I think Michael Pittman, he'll continue to tease us. I think if he had the right quarterback, I think he would have been a top 10 guy by now.
It's not a contract year.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I think I'd sell him. That's not. I don't know if I want any of these wide receivers.
Yeah. I don't think he can support a top 15 yet. I mean, I don't know, but like this kind of quarterback can't. Look at Fields last year. Look at Daniel Jones last year. They didn't support superstar wideouts.
You don't like Alec Pierce?
What does that mean?
Like, do you like him in like
fantasy
this situation? Yeah.
In fantasy?
Yeah.
No. I mean, as what? As a flex option?
Just something that works in your.
I like Alec Pierce as a player. I think he might be the best receiver in Indianapolis.
Yep.
But I don't like the situation he's in with the quarterback. I think Gardner Minshew, you'll get some good games out of all these guys to start the season. But once Anthony Richardson gets in there,
it's going to change.
Taylor and Richardson are going to score all the touchdowns. They're not going to throw for many touchdowns. Maybe you pick the guy who can go deep,
which to me is Alec Pierce.
Yeah. So maybe that's your guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yep. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah. That's actually the buy that I have. I have Alec Pierce. Some Richardson stats here from when he was in college amongst 148 QBs. In 20 yards deep pass attempts, he ranks.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Oh, okay.
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
God, I love Will Ferrell.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Breaking news.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Not
boy.
huge news, but I really want to push the button. Garrett Wilson has been diagnosed, I guess you could call it, with just a low ankle sprain.
Thank you so much for interrupting.
That was not worth the drop and the interruption of my boy.
I need you to take a couple of things into consideration here. I haven't been able to push that button yet, and I really wanted to.
Kind of scared me.
And you're going to have a lot of...
We have a whole season.
whole season ahead of us.
Listen, Garrett Wilson's a big-time player. I thought injury update, big-time player.
Injury update, he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everyone stop. He's going to be fine.
Injury update, big-time player, opportunity to push the button right in the middle of Gabe's sentence.
It just It's called the perfect storm.
That's called the trifecta, my friend.
Yeah. Yep.
No, but I mean, good news for Garrett Wilson fans though, because you didn't know what it was. Limped off the field. That could be anything. Foot problems for receivers.
You said it's a low ankle sprain?
Yeah, low ankle sprain. He'll be back. He'll probably miss the preseason. Don't need to see him in the preseason anyway.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
Well, I've interrupted you anyway, so I'll just say this too. Zach Wilson will start the Hall of Fame game. So
Awesome.
not where he thought his career was going, but what were you saying?
Richardson's numbers in college were fantastic when he throws the ball deep. I won't read those stats again. I think Alec Pierce is the one that benefits the most. He is my sleeper this year.
I like that.
Actually.
I love that.
Pittman last year, just looking at his numbers, do you guys know how many yards he averaged per catch?
I know it was low.
Yeah.
Guess.
Wasn't it 6 yards per catch? 6.5.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
It has to be low because I think with a full windup, Foles and Ellinger could maybe throw about 7 yards. So I think it's probably less than 6
Yards per catch.
yards per catch, less than 8.
9.
Close.
Richardson and his numbers, when I looked them up, like I love how you guys are praising him as like a running freak, but he could throw that ball pretty deep.
Well, I did say he has a cannon. That's what I meant by that.
You did say he has a cannon. I think Alec Pierce is going to benefit from this huge. He's really one of my sleepers this year.
Yeah. Richardson has that thing that if I was a quarterback, that's what I'd want. The ability just to flick the wrist and it just goes soaring. Did you see that throw he made? I think it was 60 yards on the run, on the money.
Yep.
It was incredible. Something crazy to watch.
You have to send that to me.
I wish Colts camp, was close. I'd love to see him in person.
Yeah.
That's probably incredible.
Maybe next year.
This has nothing to do with the next team we're gonna cover here, but I do want to. I wish I would have taken the opportunity yesterday to see Deuce Vaughn, the Cowboys rookie.
You probably couldn't find him.
5'5".
I
don't know if you've seen that video yet. That man is small, and he is holding it down for all
the short
guys out there.
Short
Thank you, my guy.
Short kings.
I don't like that
He
term.
is going to get popped.
You don't know that.
No, I saw that video that you sent to me a couple days ago. It's
Darren Sproles played at like 5'6", 160.
That's what everyone says. The one guy who made it.
the one guy. How many other guys?
I'm just saying
played
it's
that
possible. It is possible.
All right, fine.
That's fair.
That's fine. But
I wish I would have seen him though. I wanted to see it.
I doubt it, but it's possible.
You sent me that video a couple days ago, and I watched it like 10 times. Like
Sounds like it was a Make-A-Wish
I'm
thing.
I'm so nervous for this guy.
My son wanted to play running back for the Cowboys.
Deuce Vaughn is there. Deuce Vaughn is there.
Deuce. His name is Deuce. Say hi, Deuce.
Deuce Vaughn is there on a Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, contract.
Man. Wow.
One day gets
That's
a free
so
bag.
Disrespectful. He's worked all his life to make the NFL. We're rooting for you, little guy.
No,
A little guy. You can't get mad at me and you call him little guy.
no one's crapping on him. It's just
We are for sure. That's
it's
what we're doing.
just something that's out of his control. I saw that video and it terrified me.
It's tough to be that size and to be effective in the NFL. That's how the NFL is.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, and we're all interested by it, and we'll see how that goes.
We're rooting for you.
Let's stay in Texas, but move on from the Cowboys here. Let's go to the Houston Texans.
Fun.
That was a sick segue. I don't know if you guys caught that.
It's very good.
Houston Texans here. Incredible year last year. Finished 3-13.
Lovie Smith just doing. Or no, not Lovie Smith. Yeah.
Lovie Smith.
Just
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Yeah,
Finished
Mediocre
the
head
season off
coach.
great.
very interesting.
He's just a fun
head
guy.
coach there, but he's no longer the head coach.
Thank God.
They made my favorite head coach hiring, and I'm an Eagles guy, and both of our coordinators got hired. But this is my favorite head coach hiring and spot. DeMeco Ryans goes back to where he was a star as a player to the Houston Texans to be their head coach, and it looked like they are ecstatic.
Can I just say something really quick? We talk about like the culture a lot. That is a culture move right there to bring back a former star to get the fans really excited. This still is a fairly young team or a franchise. I think that was great for them when it comes to that.
Yeah. We'll get into their additions here. They add Robert Woods, the veteran receiver there. Safety Jimmy Ward, and you're going to notice a theme here with their additions. Jimmy Ward from the Niners, Sheldon Rankins. They bring over Dalton Schultz, which I feel like not enough people are talking about. Case Keenum comes over, Shaquille Griffin, cornerback Hassan Ridgeway, running back Devin Singletary, wide receiver Noah Brown, edge Chase Winovich, edge Jacob Martin, linebacker Corey Littleton, linebacker Denzel Perryman, running back Mike Boone, center Michael Dieter, and tackle Greg Little. They bring in some veteran dogs.
AKA they had a lot of cap space and needed to use it.
That too.
Yeah.
Good for them, though.
But they
That
needed
too.
this for a team like that. You need a bunch of.
great.
Yeah.
They also trade for Shaq Mason.
Yep.
I mean, this team got better.
And then they signed him to a extension.
Yeah, this team got better. Did they sign left tackle, homeboy too?
Right tackle, Titus Howard, like a couple days ago.
No. The
Tunzel.
Oh, Tunzel, yeah.
Yeah.
The face mask weed smoker
Yeah.
guy.
An underrated tackle in the league still for
Yeah,
somehow.
they're gonna be good.
They're getting that line right.
They're
which
gonna
is
be
what
good.
You do.
That line's right, and they drafted what they hope is the quarterback of the future out of Ohio State, C.J. Stroud.
My favorite quarterback in this draft actually was C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Love this guy.
Yeah. Not to be outdone, one pick later, they take what they hope is the leader of the defense for years to come, edge rusher out of Alabama, Will Anderson. And
This is you trying to build pillars on both sides of the ball. This is how
a
get an
great
edge
pick.
rusher and get a quarterback.
Yep.
I love that move.
It's a great place to
Yeah.
start.
And what do you have to lose, man? Just go for
Just
it.
go for it.
Just
I
go
love
for
it.
it.
Your
You're-
fans are going to appreciate it so much more.
Yeah, it shows that you guys give a crap about this team. Like that you give a crap about the fans. We're gonna build the future right way within
Right.
the draft. We're gonna get these guys. Yeah,
And like I said, like the quarterbacks, actually, like you said, the pass rush and the quarterback the spot is exactly where you start when
Yep.
you're trying to build.
exactly.
That's where you start.
They also drafted in a deep center draft in the second round. They take Juice Struggs out of Penn State, and then a receiver. A lot of people are excited about Tank Dell, also a small guy, but at receiver, I think it's a little more forgivable,
little
and he's looked really good in camp so far. So keep an eye on Tank Dell, especially fantasy wise. We'll see what happens there. They lose Brandon Cooks, Mario Addison, edge rusher, Ogbonia Akowakro. I'm sorry.
I'm
I
so
butchered
glad
that.
you're the one that does this.
Guard AJ Can and center Justin Britt. So they did lose some guys, but I read the list of guys they added. Yeah.
And those linemen that you just said aren't very good.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. We won't crap on them, but yes.
Yeah.
It was an upgrade
Yep, for sure.
for sure this offseason. And my take on this team, and I'll let you guys go, but my take on this team is they added way too many veterans who are not washed to not be competing for this division.
The division.
This division.
Well, they won 3 games last year.
They won 3 games last year, and I think they will be. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they will be in the mix here with the Titans. I think the Jags are going to win it. I think the favorites to win it. I think they should be, but I think
Their over under for wins is 6.5. You have them over.
I take that bet all day. They're going to blow past that.
What?
They added way too many veterans to be that bad.
That's
And if
crazy.
you remember last year, they took the Chiefs to the brink. They took a lot of these teams to the brink. This is a terrible record, but they weren't getting blown out every game. You know, I feel like they added. If C.J. Stroud is anything, they're gonna be a good team. They're gonna be a respectable NFL team. And I think in the AFC South, we've seen that's good enough to maybe be threatening for a wild card.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. I'm not as optimistic as you are, but I like what they're doing for the reasons that I said earlier. They're getting these pillars on both sides of the ball. Last year they drafted well. They drafted Jalen Petrie, surprise safety, and then Stingley at 4 or 2? What was Derek
I don't
Derek
remember,
Stingley?
but early.
But still, they're drafting guys that can be there long term. And now you have a head coach, defensive guru, who can put them in the right spot. I love it.
Right. D'Amico is going to get this defense right. You're going to have Will Anderson up there. You got some talent, like you said, in that defensive backfield. I think it's not – this defense is going to be this defense is going to be ahead of the offense. It'll be good faster. But I think if the offense could just give us anything, the defense will be good enough to keep him in games. And I just think that's a huge reason.
Yep, for sure.
To be competitive.
Love this team.
Anything on the Texans? Buy, sell?
I like Damian Pierce
As a buy?
as a buy. I mean, we'll get into that when we cover, but
Yeah. Is he your buy?
oh, are we in the fantasy
Yeah.
part? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, he's my buy. Despite missing games, finished 4th in missed tackles, first in tackles forced per attempt, amongst the RBs with 100 carries, being just 61 yards away from rushing for 1,000 yards.
Also, is a very fun guy to watch. That guy runs like his hair's on fire.
Yeah.
That guy's fun.
He runs like a late round pick.
Yeah. I mean,
Pacheco, Pierce.
the
point is, he missed some time, I think, with an ankle.
it wasn't high. It was just a regular, low ankle
But
sprain.
he missed some time, and his numbers are still pretty good. I mean, the big one for me was just, he was less than 100 yards away from 1,000 yards. He missed a couple games. I think for me, if any running back, that's why I'm so bummed about like Algier. Algier rushed for 1,000 yards. I was really excited about him, and now he has that going on. But you got Dameon Pierce here. I think he's going to pick up right where he left off.
Do you think Singletary affects his?
No.
Not at all.
Singletary is actually my sell.
Okay, I'm going to give you a sell then.
Just because Pierce is there, it's a messy situation there, I think, for him, because I think they're going to rely so much on Pierce. It's not really a numbers game for me. I just think Pierce is that guy. And I think Singletary's there just to kind of be like, a support. That's really all I have. I don't really have much about the numbers, this or that. Entering his 5th year, correct? I believe. I know he's still young. Whatever it is, though, he's going to be the RB2.
So to get a gauge on like where you have him, is he like more of a flex for you or an RB2? Dameon Pierce.
He's more of a flex.
Dameon Pierce, the flex.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I am too. He's my buy as well, but tempered expectations. I think he has flex potential, even though Singletary's there. Being drafted as running back 18, I think it's a pretty good value for him because I think with these running backs, something you can hang your head on is talent will rise to the top.
Mm-hmm.
The most talented guys, I think, will eventually rise to the top. And I think he's just more talented than Singletary. I think he has more spark. I think he's just a harder runner. I think D'Amico Ryans is going to love him and the way he plays.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be a perfect fit for the identity of this team. And he's my buy. I'll get into my sell, and then Angel, I'll have you go both of yours. My sell is the receivers because let me read these names to you: Robert Woods, Tank Dell, John Mechie, Noah Brown, Nico Collins.
Jeez. Real quick, that's my sell as well. So
yeah, go ahead.
I just don't think in this kind of whiteout room, I don't think there's going to be a true number one. I think it's going to be a lot of talented guys doing things on certain weeks, and you're going to try to pick one that's hot or that the coordinator likes a lot, and you're not going to be able to pinpoint one because John Mechie's very good, Tank Dell's very good, and Nico Collins has shown that he can be good. So I don't think there's going to be one true one.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're not crapping on any of these guys.
No.
The reason I read their names,
Yeah.
I think they're all – I could see, except with the exception of maybe Noah Brown.
And Robert Woods, probably.
No, I'd take Robert Woods. I think with the exception of Noah Brown and maybe Nico Collins, I think Mechie, Dell, or Woods can all lead this team in receiving.
Yeah. I think right now it's just too hard to tell.
It's going to be hard to tell. You don't know how much they're going to let C.J. Stroud throw.
Yeah.
And if he can, how can he support a multiple receivers or just one receiver? We don't know that
Exactly.
yet.
Yeah.
I think they'll play ball control. I think D'Amico Ryans is going to be a defensive minded team.
For sure.
Yeah, they're not going to let Stroud cook. Not right away anyway.
No.
That's my who's your buy game, Ainge?
Dalton Schultz.
That's a good one.
Once upon a time, he was tight end 3 in fantasy scoring.
He sure was.
And the new offensive coordinator comes from the Shanahan coaching tree, which always involves tight ends, play action. I just like this guy being the safety blanket for a young quarterback. And he's proven that with Dak Prescott, even with, not the greatest quarterback or, a little bit below above average quarterback, he can still be an effective tight end fantasy-wise. And in the tight end realm in fantasy, it's hard to find these guys who are going to get targets. You're looking for targets here. He's going to get at least 5 to 8 targets per game just because he's the only guy there who is proven.
Yeah, he was Dak Prescott's safety blanket.
Exactly.
I think he'll be C.J. Stroud's safety blanket as well. I think that's a great pick. I think especially at the tight end position, kind of the principle I mentioned earlier, like you're looking for someone who could eventually maybe finish in that top 5. Tight end, it's not hard to get in that top 5. Dalton Schultz definitely has a shot at it, I think. I think it's a great pick. What do you think of Dalton Schultz?
I think it's a great pick, too. I agree with Angel. I looked up some of his numbers. I almost wanted to buy him. I saw those numbers he had with Dallas. And I think the year that Dak had that year probably does help him out. And I don't think it's any coincidence that, Dak, since, Schultz isn't there no more, his
Ladies
numbers
and
kind of go
gentlemen,
down.
can I please
You
have
need
your
to
attention?
stop doing that.
I have breaking news.
This better be someone died.
I have breaking news.
Someone,
We're talking over the great Will Ferrell right now.
To stop what you're doing and listen.
Yeah, stop what you're doing and listen, Gabe.
This better be important.
Let's see.
Breaking news out of Jets camp.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers just went in on Sean Payton.
No, I want to hear it.
Yes. He says, the quote I see here, I'm sure there's more, but he says, keep my coach's name out of your mouth. I tell you what, I would love a feud between Sean Payton and Aaron Rodgers. I think, Angel, you mentioned last show, those guys just seem like they would hate each
They're
other.
just two petty grown men who just want to be the smartest guy in the room. And I am all for this because that means that Jets-Broncos game is going to be awesome.
It's an interview with Peter Schrager. I don't see too much more out there right now. I'm sure more will come out. Aaron Rodgers talking about Sean Payton. That is headline gold. But that's breaking news worthy, right? That's fun.
That's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
You have to be the biggest Sean Payton fan in the world right now if you're a Jets fan. Like, this is exactly what we want. Piss off Aaron Rodgers. He's already
That's
leaving.
a good point.
He's already leaving the Packers. Probably not as bitter, but you're just ticking him off now.
That's a good point. Aaron Rodgers goes in. What were you saying? I don't even know what you're saying.
I forgot because this is actually a great thing to start.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
We'll wrap up the Texans there. I think we're all excited to see what they do. Really good little news drop there by Aaron Rodgers. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Peter Schrager from NFL Network. We're going to take one more break, and then we will get into the team that I think we're all picking to win this division. So much pressure on them to be great, and I think they'll rise to the occasion. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes.
Be back in a second. Doug Peterson and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jaguars. What's their thing again?
I'm just excited. What?
What's their chant again?
Duval.
Duval.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I've heard it for years. I have no idea. It sounds cool.
Grew up in LA.
I know they're super passionate.
If you know what Duval means or where it originated
Some
from.
weird Florida stuff, probably.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
come
we don't
on,
need
man.
to do that. We don't need to do that.
Sorry. I'm sure it's some great Florida stuff, then.
Okay. On the open-minded side of the table, I'd like to know what that means. If you would comment that in the tweet, in the tweets, in the comments, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I'd love to know what it means.
Duval.
Angel wouldn't.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Jacksonville Jaguars last year, they finished 9-8,
This team's on.
but they're on one.
They're on their way.
Yeah. Hot finish. Rough start.
I think shaking off the terrible coaching of Urban
God.
Meyer.
I already forgot about that.
That was a fantastic
That was
story.
a bad. I want to see Sean Payton's take on Urban Meyer.
What a clown.
What a clown. Between the video of him at a bar with some girl, between him and him, like assaulting the kicker. Remember that story about him like kicking
Yeah.
the kicker?
Yeah. McManus?
No,
And then him with
he didn't know his name.
Then him with the other coaches being like, I've been there before, like a holier than thou.
Yeah.
What a freaking moron.
Where is Urban Meyer?
He's pretty good analyst. He's probably on some college game day. He's
Don't ever
pretty
come
good
back
analyst.
to the NFL.
Yeah,
Man.
some guys just belong in college.
Man, he really flamed out.
Yeah, it sucks because you kind of hoped, but Doug Peterson came and is saving the whole career of number one overall pick Trevor
The
Lawrence.
polar opposite, my boy Doug Peterson. I love Dougie P.
Yeah.
So glad he ended up there. So
Yeah.
glad he's paired up with Trevor Lawrence now because I think he's a great quarterbacks coach.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be huge for this team. Let's get into real quick who they added. Not much.
No.
This is basically the same team in addition to their draft picks. They add Brandon McManus. They add Dearness Johnson, running back from the Browns. Nice back. And they add Josh Wells. Those are the notable guys I have. And I do have as an addition here because he didn't play for them last year and hasn't played in 2 years. But Calvin Ridley, receiver from the Falcons. He comes over now off the suspension. Presumably their wide receiver one. We'll see. That's what he sees himself as anyway. In recent interviews, we'll see. They take with the 27th overall pick Anton Harrison. Huge deal for them because they lost Jawan Taylor this offseason. So to replace him at the tackle position there is Anton Harrison. They also get Brenton Strange. What are you doing? Why are you petting your mic?
There was a bunch of dust on it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. They draft Brenton Strange, the tight end from Penn State. Sorry, I know what you're doing.
You're really ticking me off.
You're just petting your mic. I know what you're doing.
There was dust on it. I was just taking the dust off.
Sorry,
while
that's
you were
weird.
Reading the,
That's
while
weird.
You were reading the stuff.
That's weird.
Sorry.
Yeah. They draft Brenton Strange, tight end from Penn State, and Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby.
You're a big Tank
You
Bigsby
love that
guy.
name.
I love his name.
He loves the
Yeah.
name.
I like the tight end.
And he's looked good in camp.
I have not seen that yet.
They should. You like Strange?
I think this is a deep tight end class. They grabbed one of the good ones.
Yeah, I think so,
one,
too.
one of the better ones.
I think so too.
Speaking of tight ends, they also extended and brought back to life the almost NFL bust that is Evan Ingram.
Good for him.
Close.
This guy went out there, did his thing, got a nice deal. 3 year, 41 mil, 24 guaranteed.
Yep.
Yeah, we reported that I think a couple shows ago, and
It was the first one, I think.
yeah, the more I see it, the more I like it. I love this guy. He's a receiver.
They're what they're doing is getting a core for Trevor Lawrence to get used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Ingram. I mean, if I was Ingram, I would start lobbying now. Like, I'm a wide receiver. I'm not a tight end. I want to be paid like a wide receiver because that's how they use him. And honestly, he's a good wide receiver.
He's always been a good athlete. He just, in New York, sometimes it doesn't work out.
I love to see him run routes. And, like, he's so good.
Number 17, he throws me off still because he's number 17.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I can't really, but yeah.
Yeah, they lose, like I said, Jawan Taylor, Arden Key, Dwayne Smoot, Chris Manhertz, great name.
Yep.
Manhertz. Manhertz. Shaquille Griffin, Marvin Jones, and Darrell Henderson. So some decent names there, but I think with the emergence of Trevor Lawrence here, it shouldn't matter, and I think they drafted well. And then the question, the question here is Trevor Lawrence.
I am completely on board with a dark horse MVP candidate being Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I am so on board this year with Trevor Lawrence.
That's a lot.
So last year 25-8. It's good for. I think he's gonna. I don't know. I'm just on board with Trevor Lawrence. Everything I've seen. Year 2 of Doug Peterson, bringing more talent. The Lions, the part where kind of scares me a little bit, but I'm on board with this guy being dark horse MVP candidate.
So my question was, is he ready to compete with Mahomes, Burrow? I have Rodgers in there, and Allen. Do you think so?
I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence, this is his year. I think you've seen lesser quarterbacks get good weapons and take off.
Yep.
Now Trevor Lawrence. And you remember, this guy coming into the league was literally Colts guy. Andrew Luck.
Yep.
Like reincarnated.
Yeah. That was the comparison.
One of the better prospects we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Had the college resume.
We knew he was going number 1 overall for years.
Yep.
Like, that's the kind of guy Trevor Lawrence was. And now I think we're going to see it. I think it was just a slow start. Stupid coach to start the year.
Slow start
Unfortunate.
is 12 touchdowns and 17 picks. That's,
yeah. But it was all.
It's a mess.
A mess
When Urban Meyer,
Urban Meyer was there, and I thought we saw last year. I see last year really has his rookie season with in a real NFL offense with a real NFL coach.
25-8.
25-8, very efficient, and he made something out of Kirk. I don't think that should be overstated.
84 catches and 1,100 yards, something like that.
He had a great season, and everyone laughed at that signing. And I think Kirk gets a lot of the credit, and he should.
Yep.
But I think Lawrence should get a lot of that credit as well. What he did with Kirk and what he made Kirk.
And Evan Ingram too.
And Evan Ingram.
Yeah, look what he's doing. This is what great players do.
Weapons have thrived so far with him. Now he gets Calvin Ridley added to that. If Calvin Ridley is anything like what he was in 2020, this team is 100% going to compete for the number 1 seed in the AFC.
It's by far the best team in this division. I'm such a fan of this team.
God, I'm excited about the Jaguars.
Yeah.
That's weird to say.
Yeah.
But if you have a quarterback that you believe in, you're so much sexier.
Yeah.
They've earned it, too, with that mess with the head coach.
Yeah.
They brought in good pieces.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've earned it.
Yep.
Yeah. Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach.
Yep.
He's been there before. He knows how to do it.
Yeah.
He knows the culture they need. I think this team to the moon this year.
Yep. I'm completely on board.
Let's go to their fantasy buy and sells here. Angel, you start with your buy.
It's the same thing, Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I don't even. The only thing that scares me about him is that he doesn't rush for a lot. So fantasy-wise, he might, but I like it more as a value. If you can get a guy who can throw for 35 touchdowns in the 10th round, 8th round, that's a steal. I think he has the weapons. I think he has everything that you'd want. He has the ability to rush. Rookie year, he rushed for 2 touchdowns. Last year, he rushed for 5. So if you could add on a few rushing touchdowns there, this guy's an awesome sleeper quarterback.
Yeah, better athlete than you might think.
Yeah, for sure.
And to your point here, you might be drafting Joe Burrow 10 rounds later.
And if they throw up the same numbers this year, the value
value's incredible. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
10 rounds later, you might get exactly what you get if you drafted Joe Burrow.
For sure.
I love this pick fantasy-wise. It's not my buy. My buy is Calvin Ridley. But because of Trevor Lawrence, I think they're on the same.
Mine was about to be Christian Kirk because 84 cat, a PPR guy, but Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
I am so in on Calvin Ridley. I can't even. I am just living for his highlights right now.
Yeah.
Last time in the league, and it was 2 years ago, 2020, 3 years ago. Last time he was in the league, he had 90 catches for 1,300 yards.
Yeah.
With Matt Ryan, and I think now he's just such an alpha dog personality. You hear his interviews. He says, "I'm Calvin Ridley. I'm one of the best to do this. I'm him." He said, "I'm him."
You need a swear jar for how many guys say that I'm him.
Yeah, but I believe when Calvin Ridley says it.
Yeah, and Austin Reeves.
Yes, him too.
Yeah.
And also,
Lakers guard. But yeah, I love Calvin Ridley this year. I think he comes in. He is the true number one. I think this. I know DJ Moore gets this comparison, but I think this is a better AJ Brown to the Eagles comparison because I think Calvin Ridley is that alpha dog number one. DJ Moore, we haven't quite seen that yet. Calvin Ridley is that guy. He comes in. He wants to be that guy. They're going to draw confidence from him. I think Kirk is in a better spot now, football wise, as that number two, as a really good number two with Ridley as their number one, and I just think Calvin Ridley to the moon here. If you're going to get him, you're going to get him later than all the other wide receiver ones.
Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
And I think if you get him, you're going to end up with a wide receiver one, and you're going to be so ecstatic. He's still only 28.
Yeah,
He'll give it a couple more years of it. Go ahead.
He's my buy as well. Just, I mean, I know he hasn't played in a while, but when he did play, he was top 10 in the majority of the numbers. 7th in target share, 4th in air yard share. You got to believe in this guy. And again, Trevor Lawrence would be like honorable mention as far as a buy because he's just going to elevate Ridley to the moon. I'm with you on that. There's not really much more to say about that. I think, and I love your point about you're going to be able to get him later. A lot of receivers are going to go before him, so the value for him, it's just a good situation. Calvin Ridley.
Let's So we're all super positive, I think, about both these guys.
Yeah.
Let's consider the other side here. He hasn't played in a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a thing. That can't be ignored.
I don't think I'm as high as Calvin Ridley as you guys are.
Yeah. So so you don't like him at all. So what do you?
No. I think him and Kirk are gonna have good years. I don't think there's gonna be much of a difference yards wise. Touchdown wise might be the guy. Kirk had 1,100 yards last year and 84 catches. That's not nothing. He showed real chemistry with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
But like I said, it wouldn't be crazy if at the end of the year Calvin Ridley's a top 10 wideout, top 15 wideout. Not crazy.
So you're not as high on us, but you wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I'm not as high, but look, man, you get attached to a great quarterback. Good things always happen.
I think Evan Ingram is going to be the guy that
There's
suffers the most there.
a lot of guys here.
That's a good point.
He's actually can I just go ahead and give the sell?
Go ahead.
He's actually the guy that I'm selling here. Not that he was inconsistent, but 8 games last year where he finished outside the top 24 in his position. If it was top 10, all right, fine. I can forgive that. But inconsistent, and the big issue is Calvin Ridley. And then you're praising Kirk. I think just by, the food chain, he's going to be third. Inconsistent games. He had 8 last year. That number probably goes up to 10 or 11 this year. And again, it's because of, Trevor Lawrence is just so good. He's going to feed those two guys. But I do have to sell him. I think he's going to be the one that's probably going to hurt the most.
Who's your sell?
It was going to be Travis Etienne, just because they got so much depth behind him now. But honestly, I wrote down here I don't have really any sells.
Really?
I love this team. I think Ingram, you have a point, but I think once the quarterback reaches a new height, I think those shortcomings become like there's a lower floor.
Yeah, I actually had
higher
some
floor.
good stats for him, and it was kind of hard to sell him. But I'm with you. The whole team is just good because Lawrence is there. But he's probably the one just by process of elimination. He's probably going to go first.
Yeah.
As far as the fantasy side.
Over in Philly, you do see AJ Brown came, and that did not make Devonta Smith unusable.
Less used, yeah.
Yeah,
and then
you still want him.
tight end.
And Dallas Goedert was still
Yep.
fine.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good comparison to make. And I think Trevor Lawrence is every bit, if not better, a passer than Jalen Hurts. And I think he's certainly capable of doing it. But I do get your point.
That's a good point, though. No.
My sell is Travis Etienne. I'm going to go Travis Etienne here.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's an every down back. I don't think he's built like that. I think he is lightning in a bottle. But I think you cannot hand him all the picks. And I think the Jaguars kind of showed that this year, too. They draft Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round. That's decent capital to use on a running back, especially in today's world. Mm-hmm. And listen to what Doug Peterson said recently in an interview. He said, yes, I think in today's game, you got to have 2 or 3 guys. They've got to be able to carry the load. You're talking about an 18-week, 17-week schedule and the postseason. It's wear and tear on guys. So
he's listed at 215, but when you watch him, he feels like he's like 200.
Yeah, he's built more slight. I mean, 215's that's a great weight for a running back. That's fine.
But when you see him on TV, maybe in person he's different, but he
runs
looks
so
smaller.
Smooth.
I think with what we saw last year, the draft capital they spent, and that quote from Doug Peterson, I think Dennis Johnson's getting carries. I think Tank Bigsby's getting carries, and I think Etienne will lead the backfield. And if you want one guy, it's probably Travis Etienne
Yeah.
because of the big playability. But this guy's getting drafted like a for sure RB1. I think he's more of a average to below average RB2.
Okay, would you take him or Damian Pierce?
Oh, I'll take Pierce on
Damian
that.
Pierce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to see because we're talking about Pierce earlier.
Yeah, I take Pierce. I think Pierce is going to get a bigger share of the offense with D'Amico Ryans there. I think he'll want to keep it on the ground.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys see this division shaking out as far as standings?
Jags are first.
Jags by a decent amount. I think the Colts are probably the worst team.
Yeah.
Record-wise. Just because
I mean, if the quarterback thing goes even decent there, though, I mean, they do got some, you got Pittman, you got Pierce. I'm a big believer in Pierce.
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor.
Or do you have them?
I know you got that, but if if that's just
The other Texans losing more?
Possibly so, yeah. I mean, I think that, I mean,
what are your standings?
I got Jags, I would say Colts at 2. I'm a big believer in the
Titans
Colts this year. Or I'm sorry, Titans at 2. Colts at 3, but I'm a big believer in the Colts this year. I think the Colts are going to be
really
better than we actually think they are.
Yeah, and that's all, of course, stemming on whether or not Jonathan Taylor's
If
there.
Jonathan Taylor's there, I think that could be a huge boost for them.
Please be there. I don't want this to be a weird thing
Yeah.
with like this quarterback.
I have this
And
division.
they need him.
Sorry.
Like no, good.
I have this division that the Jaguars finishing first. I think the Titans will finish first, but I think the Texans are riding their tail, and I do think the Colts are the fourth. I don't see them. I don't see Gardner Minshew getting off to an incredible.
Titans second, you mean?
What did I say?
Titans first.
Sorry, yeah. Jaguars first, Titans second, Texans right behind them, and then the Colts in a distant fourth with an arrow up.
This is what you like to see, though. If you're a bad division, at least you have 2 rookie quarterbacks at the bottom of these.
Yeah, exciting quarterbacks.
You have Stroud and you have Richardson. That's what you want to see. Like, we're bad, but at least we have a plan in place to be good eventually.
And that's every team in this division. They're all trending up right now.
Yeah.
So
3
it's
top
really
rookie
exciting.
quarterbacks in this division.
Yep.
Will Levis, Stroud, and Anthony Richardson.
Fun.
Awesome.
Very fun. Now let me ask you this question: let's throw Levis in there too. If Levis gets the start right away, who's having the best fantasy year?
Richardson.
I'll say Richardson.
Yeah.
A running quarterback, yeah.
Real football wise, not fantasy. Who's having the best fantasy year? Sorry, who's having the best football year?
Trevor Lawrence.
No, the rookie quarterbacks.
Oh.
Rookie quarterbacks.
God. Stroud, Richardson,
I
Will
take
Levis.
Richardson still.
Take Stroud.
I'll take Richardson.
Real football-wise,
I'll
Stroud.
take Stroud.
He's a little more polished.
You're starting your own team. Who do you want?
Stroud. He's my favorite quarterback in this draft.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't think you lose either way. So
I think I go Stroud. I think Stroud can run more than we think he can.
yeah.
And he's more of a polished wideout.
Yeah.
Oh, quarterback, sorry.
That's going to be fun for a couple years to come here.
Yeah.
If Will Levis is good too, then like
Look,
this
With
division,
Lawrence, yeah.
this division could go to the top real
You have
back.
exciting quarterback play. This is
Yeah.
what you want to see.
Yeah, this is very different like the NFC South. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of life there at quarterback or
Yeah.
potential. You go to the AFC South, not a great division as far as records, but you see the path to
Right.
Yeah.
relevance here.
Yep.
That's the AFC South. That was fun. They're a fun division to cover. Next, we will cover who do we have left?
NFC West.
NFC
The
West.
NFC West. Oh, yeah.
The dogs over
The
there.
Seahawks, the Niners, the Rams, and the Cardinals. A lot of fun.
The Cardinals. but
Yeah.
but this division is always exciting.
It's always fun.
Catch that Wednesdays. We wrap up here. Best thing you guys watched this weekend?
I have a hot take.
Here we go.
I watched 2 seasons of Ted Lasso. It's not very good.
Oh, you're going to piss some people off.
Look, it's not because what's his name? What's the main character's name? What's the actor's name? Whatever.
I forget it, but yeah, we know what you're talking
I've
about.
never seen it.
It's a fun show, but like there's like no stakes to it. Everything's so like cheesy and like happy-go-lucky. It just felt like it never really like. I want some depth to this, but I just thought it was.
Really?
I wouldn't watch it again.
Now, a spoiler if you haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but it is a American football coach who's now coaching soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the premise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's kind of a bummer. Best thing you watched this weekend?
This Is It, the Michael Jackson documentary where
Ooh.
they covered his final tour. I hadn't seen it in maybe
Nice.
8-9 years, but I saw it again, and
Interesting.
he's king of pop, man. It's the reason why he's
Yeah.
out there now. He's king of pop. kind of brought a tear to my eye. Awesome.
Really?
Awesome.
I'm not. I need to get better at watching new things. I tend to retread.
I'm the same way.
Very
I'm
often.
the same way.
And I recently ran into Tim DeKay, the actor from White Collar. You're with me.
Yep.
And made a complete fool of myself.
By the way, he's in Oppenheimer.
No way.
Yeah, he plays one of the judges.
Oh,
he's one of the.
Oh, really?
When they're questioning
Yeah.
Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr.'s character, he's one of the guys up there.
That makes sense because when we saw him, he was looking fresh.
Yeah.
My God,
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of lines, but
Have
when
you
we
seen
saw him,
Oppenheimer yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Joe.
I've been so busy.
bombs
Yeah,
away.
sure.
I will watch it this week though, probably in San Diego.
It's very
explosive.
it's very good. But yeah,
Because I saw Tim DeKay, I've been rewatching White Collar. I love it. If you ever seen White Collar,
it's a sleeper show because it was on USA.
yeah, not a lot of people know about it. I'm sure Tim DeKay was somewhat surprised that I recognized him.
Yeah,
But
Never seen it.
yeah, it's pretty
good.
good. I
It's
like
good.
it. I think it's a fun show.
Yeah, it's fun.
Weirdly similar storyline to Blacklist. I'm realizing
that's the one with what's his name?
with Ultron.
Ultron.
What's his name? I forgot his name. Spade.
Yeah, something Spade. I forgot.
Spademan.
With
Spade.
the actual guy that did Ultron's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really? I didn't know he was an actor. I thought he was a voice actor.
Yeah, he's on Blacklist. Black's pretty cool too, but I'm realizing it's a very similar premise there. But still, great show.
Yep.
Good time. Catch us Wednesday again. If you don't follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Benched. There's no E.
Is this still called Twitter?
Oh, sorry, X.
That's
Catch us on
so
X.
weird.
I don't know. You know what I'm talking about.
shouldn't have
Twitter,
done that.
X, whatever it is. Search at Benched, and also follow us on YouTube. Here, like, subscribe, share, be a friend.
and shout out
Tell
to
a friend.
Shout out to all the Cowboy fans. Real
What the
real
hell's
quick.
wrong with you?
Shout out to all the Cowboy fans. They weren't like obnoxious as I thought they'd be. They were like nice people.
Just about to
Wow,
say
that
this.
was backhanded.
No, because like I've only experienced a few Cowboy fans and they're all the same. But when you go to camp, you just realize, oh, they're just passionate fans.
You can't even make friends when you're given a compliment.
Well, I'm giving them a compliment.
I just thought of all the Cowboy fans I know, and they're all the same.
they're all like, okay, I'm just saying. Like,
I was gonna say the same.
He's trying to say
thing,
something
though.
nice.
I was gonna say the same thing though. I didn't like them going into that camp yesterday. I walked away. They're a good group of people.
Yeah.
very, very passionate. Very.
they're just passionate, and they think a lot of Dak Prescott.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Don't spoil
Yeah,
it.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the remaining questions I think you're really going to enjoy. Catch that on Instagram, all our platforms. Won't say it all again. All our platforms and YouTube as well. Like, subscribe. I'll try it again. Be a friend.
Tell
a friend.
Thank you. Also, listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for the support we've got so far. We have really enjoyed ourselves here through 2 weeks,
2 weeks.
starting our third.
Starting at third.
Hey, Thursday, catch Zach Wilson. Hall of Fame game. We'll see you Wednesday.
Bye.